All right, guys, we have one last bit of movie news before we move on. And Nick, I wasn't able to pre-screen you with this. You have no idea what's coming. This came out late last night. It only came on my radar because I was, doing a quick little Google search as to something new that dropped. Kumail Nanjiani was being interviewed about the Eternals movie. In fact, he wasn't even being interviewed. He just came out with a statement. And there's a lot of wondering as to where's Marvel. DC just had their DC fandom a few weekends ago. There's all this news about DC properties like Wonder Woman, the Batman, the Suicide Squad with James Gunn, the Flash movie, all the stuff with Ray Fisher and Walter Hamada and, the president of DC Films and all this stuff. DC and Warner Brothers has kind of been in, the public space for a while, but a lot of fans are wondering, where's Marvel? What is happening with Marvel? We haven't heard or seen anything since Spider-Man Far From Home. Well, Kumail Nanjiani jumped on social media last night, and he kind of had some interesting things to say about the Eternals movie. Now, the Eternals movie is one of those films that we know virtually nothing about. We really don't know much about the Eternals. In the public sphere, nobody knows who the Eternals are. I mean, if you just ask your average movie-going audience, your average grandmother, hey, who are the Eternals? No clue. Ask same person, who's Spider-Man? Everybody knows who Spider-Man is. I'm comparing the Eternals movie in a very similar light to how I approached Guardians of the Galaxy. Very few people knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were, but then when we got a first trailer, it was kind of mind-blowing. What is happening? This looks like the coolest thing ever. I've seen a few set photos of the Eternals. I've heard a little bit of news from the Eternals. I mean, last year at Comic-Con, we got to see the whole cast, or at D23 rather, we got to see the whole cast. But here, Kumail Nanjiani jumped on his social media and said, I know there isn't much news yet. I'm in the dark too. Trust me, I can't wait for it, whenever it comes. But I promise the movie will be worth the wait. It's the most exciting, fun, epic, thrilling, hilarious, and moving project I've ever been a part of. And it's massive. The scale of it is unlike anything I've ever seen. I would walk on to shoot and be awestruck by the sets every day. That is a quote directly from Kumail Nanjiani himself. I have a few thoughts about this, but before we jump into my brain, Nick, I want to hear what's on your brain. Have you read this quote before? Have you heard Kumail Nanjiani talk about this? What's your initial knee-jerk reaction?
So this is news to me, but I'm very excited because I have been seeing little updates from the set. There's been some toy leaks because figures are coming out in other countries, and because they can't halt that as they can like when this movie comes out. So there's been leaks of I know Ajax, Salma Hayek's character has been spotted. The toys, you can kind of see what she looks like. Looks amazing. The artwork looks incredible. I'm excited for this movie. It's got an incredible, diverse, awesome, amazing cast. That's just everybody in it is just an incredible person on top of another. And I think it is going to be huge because Marvel just blew everybody away with this whole saga of the Infinity War, and then had the Infinity War had Endgame, and then just kind of was what's next? You had Spider-Man, which was awesome, but now I think they're gonna and we're still waiting for Black Widow, but I think Eternals is gonna be that real just wham bam, here we are, here's our big thing. I think you're right. I think comparing it kind of to Guardians, where everybody was I'm not sure about this, but I love when Marvel's here's a property that you're not super aware of, but we're gonna make you fall in love with it. And that's how they started off. That's how the MCU did it, because they didn't have the X-Men, they didn't have Spider-Man, so they had to be here's Captain America, here's Iron Man, here's Thor, who people know, Hulk, who people know, but they're not these other ones, but they've turned them into people know who they are. It's
true. When the MCU first dropped, even before it was the MCU, back in the days when it was, hey, we're gonna put out an Iron Man movie, I was against that idea. Up until this point, the only Marvel films we had were X-Men. Blade. Okay. Yeah, we had Blade.
Blade was the first one.
What other properties? Spider-Man. Fantastic Four.
technically there was a Captain America and Punisher movie years ago.
True, but not like
Years
a
ago.
cinematic
Yeah, Dolph
version.
Lundgren was Punisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Fantastic Four did not go over very well. Either film, they did not go over very well critical acclaim. So when Marvel, and at the time nobody knew the difference between Marvel Entertainment and Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
Like that delineation had not been made public knowledge yet. So I was very much against the first Iron Man. And I loved it. And then Incredible Hulk came out, which I was excited for that because Hulk, the Ang Lee Hulk, was terrible.
Yeah, that was rough.
It
That
was so bad.
movie.
Anyway, I want to go back to this quote for a second, because as Kamal Nanjiani points out, right in the middle of his quote, he says, "It's the most exciting, fun, epic, thrilling, hilarious, and moving project I've ever been a part of." Here's my knee-jerk reaction to that. Great. Good for you. Headlines. Actor is excited to be employed. That's my knee-jerk reaction. And I'm sure he's being extremely genuine when he says it. But I keep going back to Richard E. Grant. Do you remember just before Rise of Skywalker came out, Richard E. Grant made a little video of himself crying. Like he was so emotionally moved at how good Rise of Skywalker was.
Oof.
And we were so excited for it. This video came out. He's like, I just came out of the screening. It was so good. And I'm just, and then we kind of went to go see the movie and I was like, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, that was a disappointing movie.
Hugely disappointing movie. So that's where I'm at. I'm not going to say that this movie is not going to be, and I quote, exciting, fun, epic, thrilling, hilarious, and moving. I'm not going to say that it's not that. It's just we need to take this a little bit with a grain of salt to say, hey, this actor who was a part of this project is excited to be a part of this project, and he has high hopes and aspirations for it. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be great. But with this quote in particular, we kind of need to take it with a grain of salt. Do you have a different aspect on that as a working actor?
I think I understand what you're saying, and like the Richard E. Grant thing is a good thing to point it to. And I think as actors, it's their job to promote this and be like, this is going to be the next best thing you've ever seen. I mean, I've seen actors in studios be like, in interviews, be like, this is a great movie. And then later on, they were like, I had to say that. I know that movie was bad.
Well, Hugh Jackman did that with the first Wolverine film.
Oh, yeah, that first Wolverine was rough. That Wolverine Origins, X-Men Origins one. I mean, I remember when Harrison Ford got mad at Shia LaBeouf for kind of distant on the new Indiana Jones King of the Crystal Skull, and he goes, it's just your job to go out there and promote this movie. Yeah. And that is not a very good movie. But like, I'm going in with optimism, and then I think he generally does feel good about this, and I'm really excited for the film. I just think it's going to be something really incredible. And for the most part, Marvel's been really, really good about they've had their pitfalls here and there.
Yeah. With
movies, but like they pretty much usually deliver. So I feel like they're going to deliver on this one too.
They do. I agree. Question is, guys, what do you think about this news about Kamal Nanjiani coming straight out and saying like how epic and huge and fun and thrilling and hilarious this movie is going to be? Does this get you excited a little bit more for the movie? I mean, I have to admit it gets me a little bit more excited, but at the same time, I take it with a grain of salt. A working actor is excited to be working. Good for him. Hopefully good for us that this movie is going to be on the same level as what we've always known and expected the MCU to be. Jump on down to the comment section below and let me know what your thoughts there are. All right, guys.